Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and today's video is a part 3 of my Netflix recommendations. I know, I've already done 3 videos on this. If you are interested to see what I recommend, just keep on watching, grab yourself a coffee, tea, Coke, whatever it is you drink. Sit back, relax, and let's just get on into the video. Also as well, actually, just thought I'd let you know, yes, I am in my pajama top, so just we're chilling, okay? So the first one that I'm going to recommend to you is The Crown. I think everybody has gone insane over this series. So if you don't know what this is about basically following the British royal family. So you have like Queen Elizabeth, you have Princess Diana, you have Charles, etc, etc. So each season will follow the different generations. So the first season will follow on to when Queen Elizabeth first came into being, obviously the Queen. So you have King George, and then you have Queen Elizabeth, and then you're going to have Princess Diana. If you're not a royalist, that's a-okay. I'm not necessarily into the royal family. Everybody was talking about it, and I thought, do you know what, I'm gonna give this a go. For somebody who doesn't follow the royal family, I don't really know much about it, considering I am British. Watching it was like a history lesson. Obviously it is fiction, but a part of me feels like there's some truth to this, you know. So yeah, if that is something that you're interested in, or you have nothing to watch, I suggest just giving it a go. It's actually really good to watch. So the next one that I have is Dash and Lily. I literally watched this about a week ago. So I watched this a week leading up to Christmas. So it is around obviously the Christmas period. So, you know, it's probably a bit late. Probably best to have watched this around Christmas time. But I think it's such a good watch, to be honest. So if you don't already know, Dash and Lily is a part of a series of books. I don't really know how many books there are of it, but the first season is following the characters Dash and Lily. So Lily basically has been left alone at Christmas. She loves Christmas, and Dash has actually nowhere to go for Christmas. He despises Christmas basically. But how they become part of each other's worlds, Lily writes some dares and stuff in a journal, in a notebook, in a library. Dash loves reading books, and he comes across this book, and for fun he kind of like goes with it. He does all the dares, and he does all of these like quizzes and puzzles that Lily has left for whoever was going to pick up this journal. And then it kind of just goes on like that. So then Dash would end up like replying in the journal, Lily would then grab it and do something, but they don't know what each other looks like, they don't know what each other's about. They just form this connection through the dares in the journals. They find out more about each other without actually knowing which each other looks like. Like I said, I do feel like it was more for like the Christmas period, but to be honest, they are coming out with the season 2 this year. Oh my god, I was gonna say next year, but it is this year, 2021. That's crazy. Yeah, so they are coming out with another season, so you know, you have to watch the first one to watch the second. The next one is Never Have I Ever. I watched this ages ago. I think I watched this at the beginning of the year. No, beginning of last year. This is going to take me ages to get used to it. It follows this young teenage girl called Dev, but she is a part of the first generation of an Indian American. I think I got that right. So this was written by Mindy Kaling. I think that's how you say her name. Like, I've probably butchered her last name. Following a young Indian teenage girl called Dev, she basically has to deal with a lot of things that happen in her life. She isn't classed as the most popular person in high school. In the status quo, she's not at the top, she's down at the bottom. And she kind of wants to reinvent herself. She wants to be a different person. As you can tell, you know, things don't just happen like that. It's not just as easy as that. I highly recommend that you go and watch this. I found this really funny, really light-hearted, really easy to watch. And also as well, there has some romance in there as well, so what more do you want? So the next 2 that I have isn't necessarily TV shows, but they are films. Do you know what? I might actually do a separate video based on the Netflix films that you should watch. I'm just going to pop it in here just for the time being. So the first one that I have in regards to films is The Midnight Sky. So it is based in the future. I think it's based in 2029 or something. So actually not far from the year that we're in, which was really like weird and like freaky. Like when I watch films like that where it's based in the future but not too far and things like that happen, I'm like, ooh. Yeah, it is based in the future, and something happens. I think it's like a virus or a radiation that causes basically most of the population to die. There's a lot of astronomers, I believe it is, that's trying to find like life on different planets. So they have evacuated a lot of people, or the remaining population on Earth, to try and find life on other planets. But the one person that doesn't actually go with them is George Clooney, and his character, I can't actually remember what his character's name is, but let's just call him George Clooney. He stays back on Earth because he is terminally ill, and he would rather die on Earth than go with them basically. And unfortunately a young little girl gets left behind, so he is looking after her, but there is no way that he can get her back up in space to find other life and stuff, but then he realizes the people that did evacuate aren't actually alive anymore. So he then finds out that there is one remaining spacecraft in space that are alive. Those sort of things are good to watch. So the next one, again, like I said, it isn't a series, but it is I wouldn't say it's a movie because it isn't a movie. I just would say it's just like a long program. So this one is Death to 2020. I really enjoyed this. I thought it was quite funny. So it is literally what it says in the title. It's just a comedic program, episode, or whatever you want to call it, taking the mick out of all these bad traumatic events that have happened in 2020. They also spoke about Black Lives Matter. So they spoke about all the big major events that happened in 2020. How they done it wasn't offensive, it wasn't anything like that. It was just almost like something very light-hearted to give you something to laugh about the horrible year that we had. So if you are up for just having a good watch, laughing about the awful year that we had, then go ahead, you know. And I do feel like it is good to think positive about the future and everything like that. I know 2020 was absolutely shocking, and obviously there is no end to it at the moment now, you know, we are still going through it. I feel like watching something like this will just give you something to laugh about. Virgin River is the next one that I have. So Virgin River follows a young woman called Mel, who is a nurse and a midwife, and she has to like deal with the grief of losing her husband. She moves from the big city to a small town called Virgin River, and it's just basically about this woman that's navigating through life, trying to get over the grief of losing her husband and just trying to live a normal life. See, there are going to be some romance in there. There's going to be like a love interest, but it's not like those typical teenage romance. It's almost really real. Like you can see her pain from losing her husband and stuff, and she's just very adamant she doesn't want to move on, and she doesn't like the fact that she might potentially end up getting feelings for him. It's quite mature, so if you are quite sensitive towards like grief and everything like that, I probably would stay away from it, because it is quite a, I wouldn't like to say depressing, but it is quite a sad program, you know, like, you know, when there's always every single scene, it's just sad, like it gets you in the feels. It's kind of like that. So this is one that I haven't actually seen yet, but I really want to watch it. I've seen people recommend this show anyway, so I thought I would just add it in here. So if you have actually seen this series, let me know in the comments down below what you think about it. This is called Tiny Pretty Things, and it surrounds around this like ballet group, I suppose. They like a ballet school and stuff. It has like a sinister kind of like feel to it, you know, somebody dies who is like top on their game in the ballet industry, and then this young woman, she takes her place, but she doesn't know why she takes her place. She thinks she's been accepted into the school. She's actually replacing this person that died. You know, you find out loads of little things. So although it is about ballet, there is so much more substance behind it. The People versus OJ Simpson. This has been on Netflix for ages. I'd say about 4 years. 4 years I think it's been on there. I really like it. I don't see a lot of people talking about it. I don't know why. Maybe I've missed something, and maybe people have recommended it and suggested it to people. But if you don't know who OJ Simpson is, he was a famous basketball player. His wife got murdered. A lot of people speculated it is him. A lot of people have speculated that he hasn't done it. But even till this day, there is a big debate on didn't he do it, you know. If you obviously don't know as well, the Kardashians are massively a part of OJ Simpson's life, I believe, because it was Kris Jenner's best friend who was married to OJ Simpson, but also Kris Jenner's ex-husband was Robert Kardashian, and he was the lawyer that defended OJ Simpson. So this series is just basically following the trial of OJ Simpson, you know, what happened to him, how he got committed. I would actually say this is quite a famous like crime that was committed, especially from a very famous basketball player. It's a series as well that makes you think, like, did he actually do it? Did he not do it? It's one of those that makes you think. And last but not least, we have this series Bridgerton. I haven't seen this. So many people have been talking about this, like it's actually crazy. So I'm going to actually search it online to tell you what they say the plot is, because I'm gonna butcher it. Like, I've seen the trailer looks good, but so many things happen in that trailer that I am bound to forget what to say, or I'm bound to actually just get it wrong. To be honest, it doesn't really say much about what it is about, but I'm just gonna try and break it down as much as I can possible for you. So it is based in the 1800s, so in 1813. So around about that time, a lot of people had like arranged marriages, especially in like the most wealthiest of families, and this is centered on the Bridgerton's family. And it does say that this series is actually based on a globally best-selling historical romance by Julia Quinn Bridgerton. It centers around this main character called Daphne Bridgerton. She lives a sheltered but kind of like spiritual life where she wants to like do things that she's not really allowed to do. So she's kind of like the odd one out of her whole family. Like her family's quite a big family. She is part of a powerful Regency era family. They have to go through like a cutthroat London marriage market where she has to basically find her suitor. She kind of like falls for someone that isn't the best, you know. He has a history of being a ladies man. I'm hoping I kind of gave that plot some justice. I probably didn't. Anyway, that's it for today's video. That's it for all the Netflix recommendations. I do have another video idea that I do want to do for you, which is regarding Netflix. Anyway, if you do want to see that and you don't want to miss it, don't forget to subscribe, hit the thumbs up, smash that bell so you're notified every time I upload a new video. And I hope you stick around, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye.